CPI tomorrow, and it could be a make or break day for the markets. We'll get into that and a lot more in today's video here. We had a pretty good move on the spiders in the morning. We talked about a pullback possibly into some of these lower levels here, and I told you to watch out for in the morning video this morning. I said watch out for a possible sweep of the low. We didn't quite even get there. We got very close, and that ended up being a pretty good low, a pretty good dip to buy into the afternoon. I pretty much sat on my hands for the most part all day long. I did take a trade on oil, which we'll talk about in a second. But overall markets here, we're seeing that Vanna rally really kind of play out here. And we did get a little headline in the afternoon here on oil. And this is actually a trade I took just not that long ago. And it was pretty much a simple trade here. It got long right around 80.78, I believe it was. And I didn't know we were going to get a headline, but we did. And again, it just goes to show you patience. I didn't do anything today, but I just didn't like that price action. I did not want to chase the rally. I kind of was looking for a little bit more of a dip to buy, and we didn't get that. So I just sit on my hands, and we've had a really good last 2 or 3 weeks, so there's no real need to do that. But just waited for the quality setup in oil, and boom, big headline. Again, it's all nonsense. It doesn't matter what it was. But what matters is we got that little pop here, and it did knock us down off the highs of the day, which I'm very grateful for, because I never like going into CPI super one-sided. I'm not surprised. Again, 68.50, that was a big fat right tail for the day. I talked about 615 QQQ. We didn't get anywhere near there, but we did get to 612, and that is currently our LG1. And again, I'm not surprised we got knocked off of that. And that was a level that was also given out first thing this morning in the morning video. So, there's 612, 610 right there, and we're sitting just below that currently on the triple Q. So they knocked us down off that number. And, again, when you get headlines and you're close to a call seller level, a lot of the time it's just going to knock it down and act as. And you can see we're right back to 680 there. So an LG1, 6800, also an LG1 there on the cash S&P. So we're settling right now. And it's, Vanna is definitely in control here. Look at the volatility, right? Even when we were, when we pulled back this morning, this was not really a bid here very much in the VIX. And you can see even in the actual VIX, look at 1010 candle versus the SPY, 1010 candle. It's really, really responsive. Whereas if you go back to, I talked about this in the trading room, go back to the March 2nd here, we came down, we had a little bit of a little bounce, and then we started, well, actually, let's start here. We started to sell off here in volatility, right? And then we followed through. But look at how hard it was to get us to make new lows versus the spiders here on that day. We had a really strong rally all day, and volatility did not really back off that much. You can see it was really hard to get it down. My point is, it backed off very easily today, right? It was not hard. You've got a lower high now here intraday as well, with higher highs on the indexes. So again, you're seeing puts get closed out. Why? We talked about this yesterday. It's very expensive to hold it, right? When they're decaying this quickly. Especially when the dealer cranked those premiums for World War III over the weekend, and those call sellers, just figured it was free money. It's not. It works until it doesn't, except for put selling at 600 QQQ. Apparently, that works every day. But you get the idea. So we are seeing that Vanna strength here, and it's helping the markets out. Now for CPI tomorrow, I would have preferred us to just go straight to 600 today. Maybe like again that level here on the spiders we talked about, to filling out the air around 670. We didn't do that, so that's something I could see definitely happening tomorrow with CPI. That said, the market has been a little ignorant the last day or two. It wouldn't surprise me if they locked out and pushed up here at any given point, right? Everybody wants a dip to buy so badly, but then when they get the dip, they turn bearish, and that's how these lockout rallies start. So just some food for thought there. We are getting a little bear inside bar trying to play out right now. I think they'll pin it right here, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm doing this video a little on the early side. Again, it is quite noisy. I hope they do pull us back. I like to see price discovery ahead of CPI, and I'll come up with my levels for everyone else throughout the overnight here. I already have some ideas, but right now. Pretty much a noisy day. We do have Oracle after the bell. That does need to hold 150. That's a big zero gamma area, and if it holds 150, it can go to 180. If not, I think 130 is probably pretty good support for earnings. So we'll see how that does and how that shapes up. But again, the Nasdaq's still the leader here. It is leading the other indices, and you can see cloud backing off again. So that's that kind of 2 days in a row, which is fine. This should still have some sort of like, come on, there we go. It should still have some sort of zigzag type move higher. At least that's kind of what I have penciled in still. No guarantees. I've already, trimmed down my IGV position, but I'm still kind of expecting that. But you can see semis again. They're the star, right? You had the 100 MA hit. You had the engulfing, NVDA, right? Good day there. Really, it was a lot of the other kind of like materials. The KLA, AMAT, memory stocks had a nice day again. SNDK, Micron were up nicely. Lam Research was another one I noticed was up, 2.5. Broadcom took a little bit of a breather. We're going to right into that channel there. AMD and Intel were green as well, but I noticed some of the other names were kind of carrying the tape here. But anyway, transports here up. Flattish to up, we'll say. Jets also catching a bounce yesterday. I haven't talked about them in a while, but again, very nice play if you don't want to short oil but want to play the convexity. I think airlines are a good area. Oil got very close to my target too. I was looking for 75, didn't quite get down there. We got that little headline. It is rebounding, and again, the volatility is high here. This was a trade. I did not expect it to hit 86 10 minutes after I entered. So I actually exited already. I'm not even in it anymore. It was just a quick day trade. I do think there is risk down to like the lower 70s though, in oil, specifically USO around $90. There's a pretty good put all there for the end of the week. So I would think that's, a possible place to buy, maybe for a rebound here. It's already kind of rebounding now, but a lot of volatility in oil, obviously. And if not, I think right around where we are here, around 85 is pretty good. 85, 86 could be a good EQ point. A lot of the rally here is assisted by oil here, but you notice here, again, oil rebounding to where it was effectively, it's not that far off of where it was Friday, right? And if you look at the spiders here, they're well above where they were at Friday's close still. So again, we're kind of seeing that divergence. And then the triple Qs, it's not even really close. The Qs are way ahead of 600. So I get the sense that if oil creep back up to 90, or so, it's not going to crash the market here. So again, there's a little bit of this is oil coming in, but again, a lot of it is just puts starting to normalize in price here. Anyway, transports, TLT was down a little bit today. No real changes though. ZB still has plenty of room there for higher lows. XHB flat to positive, now flat to negative, was positive a little bit earlier. Looks like it came back in with everything else there. IYR flat to positive. And then we got XLF here. I noticed JPM, JPM is hanging in there a little bit today. So no changes really on that front. KRE green. And credit flat here today too. Broker dealers down, but not a ton. Talked about oil a lot. XLE red, still holding the 20-day. There's XOP and OIH. OIH finally getting 2 days in a row here, but still far unable to reclaim the 20-day. So we'll see how that goes. Let's just cover wheat because I know somebody's going to be like, "What, Aaron? Cover wheat?" Sorry, it got a spike here, and we hit this this pivot here. I just don't like covering wheat that much anymore because it's similar to nat gas. Like I like when there's lots of speculators, not when it's heavily driven by producers. But I could see wheat going here. I mean, it's had a nice rebound here. It is a war. It is a war commodity. So very nice move here off the lows. And when that 630 pivot, it's backing off, but it's so far holding. Let me just check the EMAs here. Yeah, it's holding the EMA 8 and 12, so it's still pretty strong. it's still in a pretty strong uptrend. Wouldn't surprise me to see that green tomorrow too. So wheat holding up here, staples, nice rebound, and healthcare hanging in there. Some checking out some other sectors we don't normally look at. Dollar index holding up today too, starting to work on a bull flag, and gold still holding that kind of bear flag on the other side of that. So no surprises, really. Come on, all things considered. Let's take a look at that trend line there. By the way, speaking of trend lines, just looking at the cues here again. You know, that blue there, we can extend this out too, just so you know. That's right here. So just throwing that out there. I'll look at it weekly. Offers a little bit of a perspective. Just passing it along. Silver today, that was up decently, and it is getting hit a little bit, but still nicely green. So silver having a nice rebound. Again, possible little risk on signal. Platinum, palladium, kind of similar as always. And then copper following through here to the upside. Still has, still trying to clear that 50-day, but yeah, it's been in a tight range here. It's starting to compress though. I mean, look at this compression here. We haven't seen copper have a big move, you know, since that big reversal there, but it is starting to compress. That can take a little bit of time, but so far so good. And then lastly, Bitstonk here. You know, Bitstonk, it's off the highs today, but you know, we reclaimed 69, and you know, it's trying here. That might have a move. That probably is going to have a move on CPI. If that can hold this area, that can maybe finally get that trend leg going to 80 to 85. But yeah, it's been a frustrating kind of grind here for this. I mean, talk about compression. You know, you want to talk about compression. This is absolutely coiled here. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Looks like we're holding on to, you know, we're right at 69.70. We'll see what happens here. We got 30 minutes left in the day. I wouldn't make too much out of this right now. It's just noise from here. But so far, hopefully we can get a little bit of a dip. I'd like to see a little bit more price action, a little more price discovery off that low. I just wish we had, I wish we had done it earlier today. It would have made it a lot easier, but market never likes to do that. Well, not never, but mostly not. So, anyways, guys, we'll wrap it up here. You guys take care. Don't forget to come find me on carnivoretrades.com. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys all tomorrow morning.